Welcome to the MS Gym podcast. I'm your host, Jody Feltham, and it's about to get real as we listen to the victories and struggles of our own MS Gym members. So let's dive in. We've heard it said that MS has 1,000 faces. Join us today as we talk with Birgit about how MS showed up in her life and the personal choices she made to live with it, not against it. She offers some helpful advice to the newly diagnosed and to all of us that struggle with difficult days. You'll be encouraged by her no-nonsense acceptance and her convictions to live the best possible life she can with MS. Hello, MS Gym family. I'm so glad you can join me in the new year for our MS Gym podcast. And today I'm looking forward to our chat with, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong. I hope I do it right. Birgit Mueller, and she can correct me on that. It's all the way from Germany. So Birgit, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me invited. And my name is correctly pronounced Birgit Müller, but all Americans or English friends and colleagues call me Bridget. It's easier for everybody.
Okay, I will call you Bridget then. Thank you. Thank you for that grace there. So Bridget, when were you diagnosed with MS?
So I was diagnosed in September 2017, and it was a big surprise because nobody thought that anything would be wrong with me.
Okay, what kind of symptoms did you have?
I had the foot drop on the left side, and the doctor said, "Oh, nothing is wrong, so I should do less sports because I was very sportive and ran marathons and go swimming twice or 3 times a week." And he said, maybe I do too much sports and I should do less, and I should be happy that I can run 20 kilometers and everything would be okay again. And I said, I don't think so because it does not feel okay. And I went to another doctor, and then he made an MRI, and it was found out that something is wrong. And I was diagnosed in September 2017 after 2 years of searching.
From hearing your story though, like how active you were, like running marathons and doing stuff like that, like, you know, to hear the doctor say, "Oh, you're fine, just do less," you know in your own heart, you know in your own body that something's not right. So I wonder how much of those 2 years it took to be diagnosed that you had to kind of push or seek out different doctors to get you diagnosed.
It took me at all 5 different doctors, and it was really astonishing because 2 weeks before I was at a swim competition and swam 21 kilometers without any problem. So I love swimming. I still love swimming. And when I came to the doctor and they said, I have the MRI results for you, and that's not good. You are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I said, I can't not really believe this because 2 weeks ago I swam 21 kilometers. And then I cried because I was happy that we found something after 2 years. And the doctor said to me, "Oh, are you going to break down?" And I said, "No, I'm happy that I know what seems to be wrong." And I have the opinion that it's easier to know what the problem is and then to do anything against it or anything possible against it and to find a way to live with it.
Wow. You know, that's a powerful statement, right? To, you know, we talk so much in the MS Gym about being present and accepting what's going on so that we can move through it. So you know, even early in your diagnosis, you showed that courage to say, okay, I know what's going on. Let's figure out what I can do to, you know, have the best life I can, as opposed to trying to deny it or to fight against it, all those things. Like it's that is incredible though, that you did a 21-kilometer swim 2 weeks before. I could see why the doctors would be kind of baffled by the situation. So
yeah, it was it was a little bit strange, let's say. So when I went home, I said, how should it work? So 2 weeks ago, I swam 21 kilometers. Now I know I already have maybe for 2 years multiple sclerosis, and we will see what's going to happen. I have a team of doctors, but in Germany, it's not very common to know MS gym or other possibilities you may have. I am also a big fan of the combination of MS gym and overcoming MS OMS program, and I like the combination. And when I was to the MRI this year for a checkup, I talked to the doctor and I was extremely surprised that they knew the MS gym. And I
Oh,
said, "Do you know MS
fantastic.
gym?" I said, "Yes, yes, I know it. And are you a member or are you just watching YouTube?" So he knew what is going on. I said, "No, I'm a member and I like the membership very much because it's really helpful. Also, the community is very, very good.
Mhm.
And I love to read the posts, and sometimes I comment the posts, sometimes I do not comment the posts because they are too much. So there are so many comments.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
but I read all posts, but only sometimes I comment them because there are some members I really follow very much, and also like you, Motivation Monday, I love it. I love it
Mhm.
very, very much, and so it's very important to me.
That's wonderful. And I know that so many members in the MS gym, they share the sentiments. They talk about like what you're talking, the Facebook group, the members only corner, that, we say
Yeah,
that that alone is worth the price of membership, just having
yeah,
a community of
yes.
people. And right. And you're in Germany. We have members from all over the world, like 24/7, someone is always on there. And I think it's so important that we have someone to share our victories and our struggles with. So how did you hear about the MS gym then all the way in Germany?
To be honest, um, I looked into the internet and tried to find out what could be helpful to me. No German doctor knew the MS gym in 2020, I think, when I shared in June the membership. And I followed on YouTube some weeks or some months before, and then I joined the membership, and I liked it so much. But it was only via the internet, to be honest. And I'm not a big Facebook fan, to be honest.
Mm,
I only follow on Facebook one German MS group and MS gym and
mm,
OMS, of course. Yes,
yeah.
I do nothing more.
And it's good to know, right? There's like a varied level of people that are like spend all day on the internet on Facebook, and then there's other members like yourself that keep your Facebook very limited. And I know there's some people that are very leery of Facebook, but some people even create a fake profile just so they can be part of the members only corner, just to have the community. Um, so Bridget, what exactly do you do? What is your career?
I'm working for an international company. We are producing, manufacturing, and selling um, industrial measurement technology, and I'm responsible for the German branch managing director, and also for the international export business.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how long have you been working with that company?
I'm working with this company in March, 32 years.
Oh, wow.
That's quite a long time. Yeah.
That is a
Mm.
very long time. So with the diagnosis, has that changed how you do work at all?
Yes, it has changed. So my boss got a shock, and his wife is the doctor. And when she informed him exactly, because exactly about MS, I said to him, let it be explained by your wife because it's easier. She knows much more than myself at the moment. And
Mm,
he explained it very well to him. And he was very supportive and still is. On the other hand, I have to say, some people, also some colleagues at work, do not believe that I have MS
mm,
because they have the impression that I'm too healthy and too fit. Most people think in my surrounding, when they heard I have MS, ooh, she's going to die. She's not
oh,
able to work anymore. And of course, she needs a wheelchair from tomorrow on. And I said,
mm,
no, that's not typical for MS. So it has 1,000 faces. So, and
mhm,
I am one of the 1,000 faces, and the foot drop is my main problem. And following after the footwork, the pec leg, and which is clear. So if you do not walk very well with your foot, you have problems also with your hip and everything. So like Trevor always explains, and that's very interesting to know. So but in general, the work is okay. Since last year's December, so December 21, I only work 4 days because it's not possible because of another health issue. So I only work from Monday to Thursday, but it's okay. It's great.
Okay, maybe you like having an extra day, get a long weekend every week.
In general, yes, but to be honest, it was not my decision, and that makes it a little bit difficult. So now, so during the time, I found out it's good to have physiotherapy and ergotherapy, and I visit a craniotherapist on this day, and this is very good because I have more time for such things, and that's good. So it's I have told myself it's good to have 3 days weekend, and 4 days working, 3 days weekend is good. And then if I'm in a good mood, everything is good. If I'm not in a good mood, so I think, oh, it's not my decision, but it's okay. At the end, it's okay.
It sounds like, from sharing about when you were first diagnosed, you seem to kind of go with the flow. Like you have a way of kind of accepting things and then making it work, as opposed to fighting against it and being like stuck in anger or sadness. You just kind of roll with the punches. I know that's probably lost in the language translation, but you keep going. You don't give up, and you don't just like cross your arms and sulk. You move on and you make it work. So that's great to hear. So you talked a bit about one of your lifestyle modifications is doing OMS. Is there other things that you've incorporated? I guess you mentioned about physio and about the craniotherapy. Have you decided for meds or against medication, or like, I know it's a personal choice for all of us.
So yes, it is a very personal choice, and my choice was to take a DMD, and I now take once a day Zeposia and 2 times a day Vampira to walk better. I made the decision because I thought I do not want to have the situation in 10 years where I think it would have been better to have taken DMD directly from the start, because I follow some studies, and I am convinced that if I start early with the DMD, it may be better for me. But I think, as you said, it's really a personal decision, but this is my decision, and I'm absolutely well with this.
And it's important to, right, you stand by your convictions, because at the end of the day, we all have to make that choice. And like you said before, MS has 1,000 faces or 10,000 different faces, and our disease is all different. And so feeling empowered to make your own decision and not being swayed necessarily by voices for or against, it's important to feel like you have the freedom to choose that for yourself. So I'm glad, like you sound like you're a strong believer in your choices that you've made. So that's great.
Yeah.
What is, like, I know, because I'm from Canada, and MS is like, there's a lot of people in Canada. It's probably one of the highest in the world per population. I think it is the highest per population. What is in Germany, like your colleagues said, oh, you're gonna, like they're expecting you in a wheelchair, or expecting you to die the next day, like just the education, or just the environment around the word multiple sclerosis. What is it like in Germany?
I think it's strange. I think this is the correct word, because it is said that about 200,000 people have multiple sclerosis, but I think the research is not that good as it could be. And so when I talked to my neurologist, she said she has 100 of her 1,000 patients who have MS, so that's not that much. She has more Parkinson, for example, but I trust her. And she is a type of woman I can talk to, and this is also important. And she accepts my decisions. That's also very good, and supports me as far as possible. But in general, in Germany, I think it's quite difficult. I think the education of about multiple sclerosis is not that well.
What's your support network like? Do you have family in Germany or like
Yeah.
other friends, or who is around you to support you in this journey, or who did you share about your diagnosis with?
I share it with everybody who is near to me, because I'm an open person and I would like to be honest to everybody who is meeting me and not wondering about something that do not work maybe. And my favorite supporter is, of course, my partner. We live in the same household and are a couple for more than 14 years. And we are sure that we can cope with it. So my family also is informed, and if there would be a problem, they would assist, of course, but there is no big problem. They can assist too. My parents are 85 years old. They got a real shock when I informed them. And because they are that old that they think I really will die and need a wheelchair. And I needed hours to explain to them that this is not a typical MS journey. And I said to them, we really have to wait what's going to happen. And I think now they see that everything is quite okay. Not really, of course. Not have a diagnosis of MS would be better, of course, but in general, it's okay.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And what you said though too is kind of that uncertainty, you know, for ourselves and for our family members and friends. There's so many unknowns, and there, like you said, there's so many people with varying degrees of the disease and even different stages, right? Like one year might look different than the next. But I'm glad you have the support, and I'm glad you have that honesty too. I think that makes things easier, and it actually takes a lot of weight off when you're honest with people. Then there's no pretending, and you don't have to feel like you have to perform. You don't have to be perfect all the time. What kind of advice would you give to someone? So you said 2017, so it's 2023, so about 5.5 years ago you were diagnosed. What would you say to someone, you know, whether they're 20 years old or whether they're 45 or 50, what advice would you give to someone who just, you know, got the diagnosis of MS?
At first, please stay calm. You find some information which is good for you and try to find your way. So have a look at the internet, but do not read everything. So try to find out what is good for you, because the internet often shows only the bad stories, but never the good ones. So if you have a good neurologist, it's easier to find groups like MS Gym or Overcoming MS group. And you need a good physiotherapist and a psychologist, and do not only believe what doctors said, because in the first hospitalization for myself, they said it's extremely bad and you won't do well anymore. And I said, please don't tell me. I will make my own decision how to go on and how to find. And that's my recommendation. Stay calm and try to find your own way. So this is quite difficult, I know, but it makes things easier. It makes things better, and you will find your way, and that's good.
That's fantastic advice. And I really appreciate what you said too about, you know, be careful who you listen to, because you know, there some of us have like amazing neurologists, and other people they're not the best. They don't have a very good bedside manner. And so, you know, we hear so much in the MS Gym, people talk about, you know, my doctor said this would happen to me, but look at it 15 years later and I'm still doing marathons or whatever. So I think it's so important, like you said, to have a positive outlook and not to believe in the negative people, and, you know, that are saying things over you.
Yeah, and mindset and attitude are extremely important.
It is challenging on those difficult MS days. It's challenging to have a positive mindset, but I know for myself, and I imagine you too, if you're in like a negative mind space, your body also doesn't work the way you want it to. For myself, I know.
Of course, I have some days which are not good, and my mindset is also not every time good. But I have my ways to get over it. So I listen to my favorite music, or I do my hobbies, or read a little bit more. And I like to meditate, and it always works. So if I'm in bad mood, I listen to special meditations from YouTube, and I'm doing better then. And also, I like the mindset minutes. I love the mindset minutes
Mm.
from the MS gym. I do not know how often I have listened to them because it's only 1 minute and you
Yeah.
can do it all the time. So I
No,
like them.
that's good. And it's funny if you know much about the MS Gym, Trevor Wicken is the founder of it. And boy, does that man love to talk. He talks and he talks. So to think that he can give a motivation Monday in a 1 minute talk is quite remarkable for him. But I agree, he's got a lot of truth compacted into 59 seconds there. So you and I were chatting a bit before. You've had lots of international adventures and hiking and all sorts of really, really neat experiences. What are your goals? Like, what are you hoping to do now that, COVID is kind of gone, kind of not gone? What adventures are you hoping to see in the next 5 years?
I hope that we will travel again in 2023. And I like whale watching. And I hope to do whale watching again in 2023 because it makes me feel so happy for a month. So, and I think we will stay in Europe this time, and let's see. So, another goal is, of course, to stay as healthy as possible, and I also like to support other MS patients, and this works because my doctor also gave me some telephone numbers or to help other people, and it's very important to me. And I inform them about MS Gym and what I'm doing, and that's very good. I like this.
That sounds wonderful. It's like you're an ambassador to help people, especially if you're given numbers to other patients to try to
Yes.
help them find their way and to guide
Yeah.
them in a hopeful situation. I think
Yeah.
that's very generous of yourself to give your time and your
Mhm.
energy to be a blessing to other people. So I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, Birgit, thank you so much for joining me today. Is there any parting words? Is there anything else you'd like to say to the MS Gym community?
Yes, I would like to say thank you to the community because I really love the posts and I love all posts. So the share posts or the motivation posts, and also if people struggle and the answers of the other community members, I think they are so worthy and I like them so much. Please keep on doing this.
Mm.
And thank you to Trevor and the team, of course.
Thank you for that. I'm so glad that you're getting so much out of the MS Gym, the exercises, the community, and I know that you're also pouring back into it as well. So thank you again, and I wish you all the best in the new year. And I look forward to seeing your own posts in the members only corner. I know we don't get to see them too often, but we would definitely love to see them, and especially of your travel and some of your whale watching adventures.
Yes, I think it will take nearly some months before we go to travel, but of course I will do so. Thank you, Julie.
Do you want to give a voice to your own story or learn more about the MS Gym? You can check us out at themsgym.com.